Hi, this is Sharon McNall, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today we're going to create this card using the Enjoy Life Photopolymer stamp set. This is a new stamp set in the 2018-19 catalog, and it was developed by our Million Sales Achiever, Connie Fitzgerald. So let's bring in the stamp set. It comes with 15 different stamps, and the way you can figure that out is Stampin' Up! Puts on the bottom here the number of stamps in the set, and here's the $1 Million Achiever little symbol here. It is item number 148190 in the catalog. And what we're going to do is, let me just bring in the catalog here. I'm going to show you the stamp set. It's actually on 2 different pages. So here's the stamp set here, and on the other reverse side, it shows a few images of how they've used this stamp set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to recreate this card, but I'm going to be using, I'm going to use powder pink as the cardstock, what they used here, but I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. I think this is Poppy Parade, but I wanted to use the Flirty Flamingo. And we'll use a different, I've got some glitter enamel dots that I'll be using. So let me just show you the embellishments that are in the new catalog. I don't have many on hand yet, so that's why I'm going to be using some from last year's catalog. But you could simply replace the ones that I'm using by any, I would say the ones that would work really nicely with this design would be the clear rhinestones, and you could actually color those with your blends. And also the metallic pearls would work really nicely, and also the artesian pearls here. So let's get started creating the card. All right, so this is just a powder pink background, and I used shimmery white cardstock here and a piece of whisper white here, and there's some metallic thread or gold threading here, which is on the back side, and I just simply stamped on the inside. So what we'll need is a card base, and this is powder pink, and it's cut 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4, and it is a top folding card base. Our second piece is a piece of shimmery white. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera or not, but it's got a little bit of shimmer and glitter to it. It is a very smooth front, so it's not like true glitter, but it's just a little sparkle to the cardstock. This is cut 3.5 by 4 1/4, and that will go right here in the middle. And then I have a piece of whisper white cardstock. This is for the banner, and it's cut 2 by, oh, let me get my trimmer here. I can't remember exactly what the size was. 2 by 2.5. And let's bring in the triple banner punch, and we'll just punch this out here. We'll just get that out of the way. So with a small piece like this, you want to make sure it's pushed in all the way. And in order to see that, you can just look from the back side and then just simply make sure I've got a little bit of space on the left and the right there. And we're just going to punch that out. So just a very small piece here, and that's our banner, and we'll be stamping that. So let's get that stamped right away. And I'm actually going to change the sentiment out too. So we'll be using a different sentiment so you can see the versatility of this stamp. So I've got, this is Flirty Flamingo. It is a new ink pad here. So we're just going to take this stamp, and we're going to stamp right at the top in the center, hopefully. I can't really see it that well. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we're all set with the banner. I'm just going to put this aside for now. We'll get back to it later. So now the next step, what we're going to do is, since I've got the Flirty Flamingo out, I'm going to stamp the card base and also the envelope. And I'm using the little, like, I'm not sure what kind of flowers they are, but if you know what they are, leave a comment below, because I would love to know what kind of plant this is. But I'm simply going to just stamp here. I'm stamping a little bit off to the side here, and I want to make sure this is going to be stamped in enough, so I'm just going to stamp again. I know my cardstock's going to be covering a lot of this, but I just want to make sure I don't have any gaps. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the right side and again here. And then we'll open this up. Very simple stamping. And we'll just stamp one more time and just bring this in down just a little bit lower so we get a little bit of depth there. And then lastly, we're going to stamp our envelope to carry through the theme. So we'll just stamp that down there, and I'm just going to add a little bit down in there. So that's our envelope is all complete. And let's see, our next thing we'll be doing is we're going to be doing some watercoloring on the shimmery white. So I'm going to need some paper towels here, and I'm also going to need my aqua painter. And I've also got the new pineapple punch. This is a new color, so I'm going to show you with the new ink pads here. Oh my gosh, this one's stuck. Let me show you a new trick. I guess I don't have this one quite ready yet, but I'm going to show you a nice little trick. So I've got a candle here. It's a birthday candle, and we are just going to rub this in here, get some wax in there. And on each side, I created a video earlier on how to get these to work a little bit smoother. So you can follow along in that video as well. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to see there now it's sliding so much better. So just give that a little tug here and you're all set. So I wanted to show you how to create a color palette inside your ink pad. So with a Flirty Flamingo, I'm just going to press it in the center just like you would do on the old style, and it still creates that palette for you. See, there it is. So if you can't get that to work and you want to use your ink refills, you can do that as well. So there's not much ink in here. So if you don't want to squeeze the ink pads, all you have to do is make sure you have the right refill. And I do pineapple punch. And I'm just going to put just a couple drops in there, and we are good to go. All right, so our next step is to color the shimmery white cardstock. So again, I've got my paper towel, and what you want to make sure is you've got the shimmery side up, because the back side, there's one side that's just a little bit, I think, a little bit more shimmery than the other side. So we're going to, let's see, grab our aqua painter, and I'm just going to work with the Flirty Flamingo first. And what I'm doing here is I'm just adding a little bit of water first, and then I'm picking up that ink, and I'm just going to make some like a watercolor splash here, just along. And as I'm moving the aqua painter, I'm squeezing a little bit of that water. Okay, so now I'm going to just clean my brush here until it's clean. It looks good. So now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab some of the pineapple punch. Again, this is a new color. It looks a little bit orange here, but see if you get it smoothed out here, it does turn to pineapple color. So now we're just going to add this in just to create a little bit more depth in your card. You don't want to squeeze too much water. And I'm just going to bring a little bit of yellow down here. Okay, so that is all set. I'm going to just clean that out. And we are done with our ink pads. So let's just close those up. So easy to close up, and they stack great. So I'm going to dry this. Normally I would let this dry on its own, but I need to speed this up. So I'm just going to get my heat tool out, and we're going to dry it real quick. All right, I'm just going to flip it over too on the back side. And you can see this does roll. It's just because of the heat. And if it does roll on you, which it will do that, you just keep flipping it over back and forth until it is dry. It's almost dry. So if I wanted a little bit more of that Flirty Flamingo, then I would just go back and I would add a little bit more, but I think that's okay right now. So you can just see the difference here between the two backgrounds. This one I used quite a bit of Flirty Flamingo. This one I used more of the pineapple punch. All right, so now we're going to do our stamping. So we do need to have our piercing mat back here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to ink up the grass in black, and I just re-inked up. I'm using Memento ink, and you could use StazOn if you wanted to, but I'm using the Memento so the StazOn doesn't stay on my photopolymer stamps. So I'm just inking up that really well, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out because I just re-inked my Memento. And it's a little bit darker. I'm going to show you a trick too. So if you can see here, I've got a little bit of white showing. So to fix that, all you have to do is just re-ink up the stamp and then flip it to the back side so you're getting that solid image on the bottom here. So that is just giving you a little bit more coverage there if you do miss it. Just going to add that a little bit more. So that looks pretty good. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to add that little bitty flower over to the left side. Again, that's going to be in black. I'm just going to ink this up, and we're just going to scoot it over here to the left side. I think that looks cute just out there. Now we are going to ink up the girl, and I'm just going to take the ink pad to the girl, and you want to make sure she is inked up really well. And we are going to just stamp it over here, down in this part over here where it's just a little bit lower, off to the left side. And just hold that in place for a few seconds and lift up. All right, so that looks pretty good. Again, you could use StazOn if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use the Memento. And now we're ready to assemble the card. So let me just clear up this Memento. I don't want to get that out, and put our cap on our aqua painter so that doesn't go everywhere. And we will just bring in my adhesive, and I've got that somewhere here, right here. So what I'm going to do, since this is a little bit bent, I am going to put some right in the middle here. So we've got that all on 4 sides, and I'll bring our card base in. And again, I don't have my grid mat here, but I'm just going to eyeball this. This is flush top and bottom, and it should be 1 inch and 1 inch on this side, and just give it a really nice press. And I like to press from both sides, so I'm just going to flip that over. Okay, so that's all set. The next thing we're going to do is work on our banner piece. So with our banner piece, I'm going to want this to go somewhere over here. This one is a little bit smaller. As you can see, the sentiment on this first card is a lot longer, so the banner is going to be a little bit longer. But since this is a shorter stamped image, then I'm just going to make that banner a little bit smaller. So we are going to put some dimensionals on the back side of this, and we'll just put in, I'm going to use 5. Just so I like to put one in the middle there just so it doesn't create that bend. So let's just release the backings from here by just pressing your fingernail, and just they release so much easier when you give them that little press in the middle. Okay, so this is all set, ready to go. Now we're going to bring in our gold thread here. It's very fine thread, so I'm going to wrap it around 4 of my fingers here, find the end of it. Okay, so we're just going to wrap it around 4 or 5 times. 4, 3, 4, 5. I'll just do 6. Okay, so I've got a pretty much of a hot mess right there, but that's okay because we're going to fix it. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive right here, only because your banner is going to be covering up this area, and it doesn't really matter if where you put your adhesive on. So I'm going to dangle this a little bit low. Actually, we're going to go up a little bit higher because that banner is a little bit smaller than the other one. And these little tails here are kind of sticking out, and I don't want them to, of course. So we're just going to roll this over and press down there. And then this one's kind of like hanging out there. So let's just get this one down over here. So now we're going to take our banner, and we are going to add it. And I'm just going to make sure these are in a little bit before I press it down. And I'm just going to put it right about there and just give it a gentle press. So now we're going to add my glitter enamel dots, and they are over on the other side of my desk here. So let's just bring these in the picture. And again, you could use what you have. This is all I have right now in my stock. So I'm just going to get these little lighter ones. I'm just going to put one over here to draw your attention over to this side. And then I'm going to grab a little yellow one, and I'm going to put the yellow one down here. And then I'll take one of these little pink ones, and I'll put it, let's put it, let's just put it right over here. So there you have it. What a cute card, and I love that we can get ideas from the catalog. So let's bring in, this is the card we made today, along with the envelope that matches, and also the card that I made earlier today. So just a little bit different, but I love how they both turned out. And leave a comment to me in the comment section below, and let me know what you think of the card. For all your stamping inspiration, please visit my website at inspiredbygraham.com. Thanks for watching.